After 3 years of being cut out of the world because of COVID, China has for the past few months re-entered a new normal. Crowds have been seen everywhere in the latest national vacation of May the 1st, like the town of Zibo, which is now really famous all across the world for its barbecue. And we talked about it in our latest Meanwhile in China episode. So we're wondering, far from the national park and the museum, how Chinese youth were taking on those sunny days and have fun, especially during those last national vacation, because there were not 10, there were not 30, not 50, but over 60 music festivals across the country. And just to give a sense of scale, there are around 700 cities in China. So they all vary of size, of course, but that amount of festival was just unprecedented. So I'm your host, Aladin Faré, and today with us in the studio are Dragos Katio. Hello.
Hi, I'm Dragos, the marketing director at the World of Chinese and also the producer of this podcast.
Next to me, Ivy Wong. Hello.
Okay, hi guys, I'm Ivy, and I'm Chinese. I work at the Chinese music industry around 15 years. And now I'm running one music agency. I book foreign artists for Chinese music festivals and Chinese events.
And in front of you, Yang Yu. Hello.
Hi again.
Hi again.
Yeah, my name's Yang, and I work at the MIDI Festival for everything related to international affairs, including booking of international artists, collaborations with other countries and embassies.
And quickly, what's the MIDI Festival?
It's basically the first open-air rock festival in China, and it's still going on strong.
For anyone who is also listening to our podcast, Middle Earth, about China cultural industry, you can actually listen to Young interview, where he was a guest on episode 71, China Music Festival. So guys, if you like what you hear today, please be sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and hit the bell button to know when the next episode is coming out, because we're definitely not going to be done discussing music festival in China in roughly 20 minutes. So, first question. Can you tell us how bad, I guess, was the COVID for music festival in from 2000 to 2022 in China?
It was devastating. I think it caused a blood change in the scene.
What do you mean blood change?
Like the industry was already more or less struggling because there are other changes, like source of finance, for example, from mainly real estate driven financing of festivals to facilities, parks, or different interests.
Because if I remember from our conversation we had last year on the Middle Earth podcast, you were saying like there was some kind of bubble, like everyone was investing into music festival for many years, and then some people were not super professional, so there was some kind of a deflation and people realizing that it's a real job, it's a real industry.
Well, it's happening all together. So in retrospective, I think it's caused a blood change. Now, especially this year, I see a lot of festival promoters who are actually not from the music scene, or not like our music scene, like indie music scene. Many are from the pop music scene. So the huge arena concerts of pop stars, they do shows in arenas normally. And they also build a stage there, and they also run festivals, multiple artists. But now they are coming out and doing it in open air, and they do it more or less the same, with the same ideology of pop star concerts, arena concerts.
Personally, it's like because of COVID, I really lost a lot of money, because before I planned 6 events, the big electronic events in 2019, but in the end of the year and the COVID happened, and then but I already paid like the venue fee, like the artist fee, everything. Because we played in 2020. But the venues artists, they won't give your money back, so we just have to, because I have 2 partners, business partners, so we only need, how to say, only thing we can do is wait. And then the people and like me and my friends and my coworkers and everybody who stay in the electronic music circle, we don't have parties. We can't build anything, and we can't book the really good DJs. We can't build the really good parties. So the bad part is our mental. Everybody have the mental problem.
But now to move on, so I was saying in the introduction, now COVID regulations are gone, it's over. Everyone basically wanted to do some revenge spending. And so can you guys tell me how you feel about the industry and what's going on now?
It's very obvious. It's like 2 years and or 3 years that people are urging to do something, but they cannot. And then once it's this sudden opening, and then people rush in. So basically, there are two parts. Is one, those who wanted to get in during after the pandemic, and those like her who already has spent money on planned events. So it's like these two parties are joining in at the same time. And then there are us like media where we normally are doing that regularly. So these three forces are joined in. It's only 60 festivals. To me, it seems a lot more than just 60 festivals. I thought it would be much more. It seems like to be everywhere.
But here's a question. Back in November last year, when COVID was still present, did you guys expect any of these festivals to be active?
No.
Because I feel like a lot of these festivals were like a very quick turnaround, right? Like back in November, it was like, yeah, we're not going to talk about music festival until we figure out what's COVID is happening. And then like, okay, guys, we got like 2-3 months to plan everything.
Yeah, basically, it's like November. I think I remember it was the height of discussion about to still keeping the strong prevention policies.
Yeah.
And then early December, it took about only 1 week to switch from total control till like do whatever you want. So nobody can foresee that. This sudden opening caught us. It's like it's
by surprise.
By surprise, yeah.
What about you, Ivy? I was curious because you actually have a lot of international talent that you're managing.
Yeah.
When China suddenly reopened and said, hey, you know what, COVID is over, time to get back to work.
Okay. Actually, my situation is a bit funny because, China opened the gate suddenly, really suddenly. Before last year, I prepared some international DJs channel tour. Yeah, we signed the contract, we prepared everything, but we are not sure when they can get the work visa. So that's so funny, but when China just opened very, very suddenly, and everybody is really rushed, all of organizers, I think, they are running very, very fast, and I think it's not all of people really prepared good about the projects, because it's suddenly opening, and even we prepared projects before, but we don't have enough time to build the stage and everything. My projects is went to really fast, really rush, and I don't think be honest, I don't feel really good because really rush, and it's not everything really professional.
Why was it so rushed? Is it just because you needed it to happen this year?
Because I think, mostly organizer or mostly agents like me. And we want to do how to build the projects, the first round in China after COVID.
Yeah, be the first.
Yes. And the funny part is we thought if we do the first round and we can get the money back and we can get more famous about our agency, our label, but actually no. You do everything really rush, and you can't prepare the really professional, and you can't prepare all of things is good enough. So if people they go to your events, your festival or your party, they don't feel really good, and they won't spend a lot of money there.
Before we move on to the festival, like what's the festival experience in China, I was wondering, like, can you guys give us a sense of what kind of music is more popular? Because we have like the DJ crowd and more the rock crowd. So I'm wondering, like, can you guys share a little bit, like, what kind of
one thing that is obvious within I think since COVID, or it started a bit before COVID, but I think it's especially during the time of the pandemic. It's something that in indie rock section, what we call 好蹦, it means like good jump. It's a rhythm that forces you to jump, basically. It's like it's like all of a sudden all the bands are starting doing that beat. It's a very monotonous beat. It goes from the whole show. Basically, most of the songs are based on this beat. There are only some changes, some bridges, some I don't know, B parts, but still, like that's the main drive. And now it's like most of the famous bands or most of the popular bands within indie rock in China are based on this beat. To my observation, there are a significant drop of metal, and it seems just like since last year, punk is a bit on the rise. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it works, it's because it's easy going. And then, like I said, like the majority, the main drive is this good jump, Haobeng stuff.
Because people want to do, I don't know how we say this in English, like pogo, you know, when you...
Mosh pogo?
Yeah, mosh pogo, like when you are in the crowd and you just
jump
at each other.
No, there's a new generation now.
They
because
don't do that?
Like I said last time I was here, it's like China is in a cyclus, like it's basically on the college time. Every 3 to 5 years, there's a new generation of visitors, because once they graduated, and they immediately face to the problems of finding a job, and maybe getting married and get a kid, and after that they are not coming out to the concert anymore,
which is kind of sad.
So every 3 years, 4 years, there's a new generation. And now after COVID, especially because during COVID there was no concert, not that much, not as a traditional go-out option. So now the new generation of concert visitors has a completely different mentality and awareness of music. So it's completely different than before, because there's a gap. There's
How is it different?
They are driven more to like easier music structures, easier to understand, and that music that can move you immediately, music that you don't need long time of consumption or understanding in order to enjoy and understand it.
That must be the fault of Douyin, obviously. Ivy, what do you think about what?
Okay, yeah. First, I really agree with Yang Yu, and because he's kind of like my old brother, my teacher, because I learned a lot from him before.
Yeah, because you guys worked like 15 years ago together.
We know each other a long time.
Long time.
And after this, and from my view, it's like the pop music in China. It's always like that, you know. They now they still holding the main, how to say, the mostly music market now. It's nothing special, no matter before the pandemic or not. It's like. But since the 2017, the hip hop music like a bomb, you know, boom, and it's very popular. And now a lot of young kids, and they really like the hip hop music. China's music market is really big, so it's out of people, we have so many people, right? And so now we are still learning from outside of China. especially the hip hop music and electronic music.
Yeah, to add on, like when you guys started working at the MIDI festival, like more than 15 years ago, MIDI was, just to give to the audience some context, MIDI was like the first festival in China, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's basically like talking to people who worked at Woodstock. I think like, to show like how there is decades of experience that are different. And I think like in Japan, like Fuji Rock, that just started in the 90s. So really to see that each country have their own history regarding music festival. Like it didn't happen every time, everywhere at the same moment. It seems like such like a hard competition. If you have like every single city has like their own music festival, at the end of the day, the music festival fans, like, or even if more people are trying things out, like I think, you don't have an extended infinite number of people who can go to those music festival. So I'm wondering like what's the talk in town between all the music producer and so on about like the result of that.
First, I think it's a good idea. It's good because after three years the pandemic, and no matter our festival, it's good or not, it's professional or not, but Chinese people need it. Like I live in Beijing. I don't want to spend money and my time to go Shanghai to enjoy one festival. So if Beijing have the other music festival, then I stay in Beijing.
Because now you can.
Yes.
But before COVID, they were not that much. Okay.
Nothing happened. No, I think it's good, and the people feedback, it's really good. They use the crazy way, and I think they even don't care about the lineup because they only check the last one, the important one. Like, okay, no matter it's a rapper, pop star or something. Okay, then I buy the ticket, then I go. I enjoy. I just want to enjoy the, how to say,
the vibe.
Yeah, the vibe and the feelings because we need it.
Was it easy to get in those festivals international talent? Because one of the things we were actually kind of looking what was happening with the music festivals during that period of time, and we found it pretty hard to recognize international bands or international talent that came to China for those festivals.
This question I can answer because last year I prepared around 7 months to bring the foreign artists to China.
Oh.
Every month, the government rules change about the visa, about everything. So when I deal with one international artist and the government rules change. So like this, I know all of details of this.
So if anyone wants to hire someone to go to China, you know who to call now.
Yes, the 26 March, the government reopened the visa. But around May holidays, all festivals, we didn't know. Normally we book artists had to be before 2 months or 3 months, especially the famous one or it's international one. We have so many works need to prepare, right? But the government is open the gate is so fast, sadly, and everybody already many festivals already is confirmed. So that's why and now it's just end of May. So that's why it's around May holidays. Even there's so many festivals, but we didn't see some of the good international artists came in.
You basically didn't have time.
Yes.
It was rushed.
Yes, because the promoters and artists, we don't have enough time to do that. And since in the middle of this month, already have many international artists came in. Like the top 100 DJs, they already started do performance on the different clubs, night clubs. And I think other like international rock bands, international rappers, no matter every month, and when moving on everything, and more international artists will come in. And also the promoters, we don't want the people know who will come before we do the confirmed performance.
Yeah, I think the last point you made about the competition, I think it's more about competing about to have a good lineup rather than to sell more tickets, or to get source of investment. Because in China, there's only like in indie rock, indie music, there are only a certain amount of artists who can sell tickets.
Yeah, but Ivy just
And
said that people don't really care about the lineup; they just care more.
No,
about the-
I'm from the point of view of a promoter. I was talking about competition, because if you are a visitor, you don't care about the competition of festivals, right?
Yeah, but then you just take the first. Let's do a band Dragons, and then we can help you. We can help you fill up MIDI and.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
sorry.
can play the ukulele.
Okay, great. No, okay, but joke aside, okay, so the competition is more about really like the lineup.
Grabbing the artist, because the artists get too many offers. Like during this one, I don't know, like 3 days vacation or 5 days vacation, you get, I don't know, like 50 offers.
Do you
Because
think
like you said, it's like 60 festivals, and they all want the big names of indie band or a hip hopper, or I don't know, like a pop star and stuff. So you get a lot of offers. So you choose, and then I don't know. Earlier you might sell a show for, I don't know, 200,000. If you get more than 10 offers, then you'll raise it to 250.
do you think they actually go with the highest bidder, or they actually also have like, oh, MIDI Festival is one of the classics that I want my name to be?
Well, it's still a business. It's still a business. Of course, there are like emotional aspects. Even MIDI, if we want some big names, we also have pay a proper price. Maybe there's a discount. But still, like, if they want to raise the money, raise the price, we have to pay. MIDI, Yantai MIDI in China was the latest one who announced the full lineup. So we are the last one, and also the last one to announce the price ticket. And our boss, Mr. Zhang Fan, made a decision that because all the festivals are too expensive for students, so regular college students, then we said like we do it maximum 200 for each day.
So $30 roughly.
Yeah, a lot less than the other ones. And I think that caused a certain disturbance within the promoter scene, because they were hoping to sell like more, and then all of a sudden, if we come out with a lot less ticket price, and then it seemed that all the kids are rushing to buy MIDI tickets, especially from all over China, not only in Shandong province. They are really coming from all over China. But that is the tradition of MIDI. Yeah. They are really coming from all over China. It has nothing to do with all the others. And then the fact that we have a cheaper price is also, of course, our lineup is also cheaper. We have more, a significant part of metal stuff, of other stuff that is not too expensive compared to the overpriced indie pop artists.
I think the pop is overpricing the indie.
yeah, because there's too many offers.
Yeah,
because everyone is doing festivals, and there are only a certain amount of artists that can attract the necessary audience.
Do you think it's gonna last? Like having this type of system where the festivals, the indie pop festivals, are gonna keep doing it and keep these prices super high up, because, as we know, like younger generation are the trendsetters.
I think the blood change isn't at the end yet.
Okay.
So we have to see, because what's going on now is crazy. It's not normal. It's not a normal market. So it eventually will settle down sooner or later.
Last question, and I would ask you guys to try to phrase it in 1 minute. I'm just wondering, like, as we're going to finish this podcast, like, do you guys have, like, some kind of last comment regarding the future of music festival? Like, we saw how things have changed over the past year, how COVID has definitely leveled the playing field, and now the question, and how people are changing their habits now. So now I'm just wondering, how do you, when you take your crystal ball and you look at the future, like, what do you see?
I think it's really hard to see into the future, especially now. Because, like I said, the change is not done yet. And I only hope that because it has become such a social awareness for music festivals, that more people might get into the real music instead of just going along with the fuss. That's my hope, but we will see.
Yeah, will this happen? That's another question. Ivy?
Okay, I think now it's not Euro. The industry. Now it's very crazy. So I can see after 1 year, after 2 years, how's going with the music festival circles. It's just I wish all the promoters just calm down, don't do too much crazy things, crazy plans.
Stick to the basics.
Yes, calm down and be more professional. Really.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for coming today. And dear fans, dear listeners, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe and also push the bell button so that you know when our next show is going to come out. Meanwhile in China is brought to you by the World of Chinese magazine. If you want to have a more centered take on what China is like behind the headlines, go to theworldofchinese.com and subscribe to gain access to our latest article, podcast, and video. Today's episode was produced by Dragos, hosted and edited by me, Aladdin, and distributed by the World of Chinese Magazine Network. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.